with both directors of REC. First question. Was the reality horror of REC influenced by such previous genre films as Cannibal Holocaust and The Blair Witch Project?
No, REC was not inspired by these films, but of course they came before us, and we both loved these films. I would say that our biggest influence came from television shows, such as Cops, and the live reports that we see on the news from places like Iraq. So what we wanted to do was to make a movie that felt like a television news report, and to keep it strictly in real time. So the film is shot as if it's really happening and unfolding in front of you. It is like that from the beginning to the end. I believe that is what makes REC different from other movies you mentioned, because although they use a similar technique, they are based around the concept of found footage.
I'd like to add to that we are part of the YouTube generation, and I think that is affecting the way people make films and consume images. More and more we are exposed to new things because of the internet, and movies are not only made for DVD and theatres anymore. I think, in a sense, REC is very contemporary, and what makes it different from two films you mentioned earlier is that this movie happens in 2007, and we personally were very influenced by the work of kids playing around with the camera and putting up results up on YouTube. I would also say that just as important as Cannibal Holocaust is a video by Chris Cunningham called Rubber Johnny, which he shot for Aphex Twin. The way that he shot that is very contemporary and looks quite new, and we acknowledge this with the way that we made REC. We wanted to look very fresh and unique.
All the same, your movie is about a contagion that breaks out, and the resulting film of it, George Romero's Diary of the Dead, is based around a similar concept. Are you worried that he might have unintentionally stolen your thunder?
When we started to prepare REC, we knew nothing about Diary of the Dead or Cloverfield for that matter. When we were finishing the movie and mixing the sound, we began to receive information about Cloverfield, and we were really shocked because we did not expect anyone else to be doing this sort of thing. Of course, we immediately thought, what's going on here? Then, a few months ago, we realized that something extraordinary was happening in the film industry, because very similar movies were all coming along at the same time. It is not so much of a coincidence as much as it is a consequence of how audiovisual landscape is changing.
Our job was to create a fake reality and then put a cameraman there and try to capture it on film. Originally, there was not even going to be any editing or music in REC, so that the decisions that we had to make were very difficult from an ordinary film. We wanted to make something as real-looking as possible, and what other people were doing was not even in our minds.
Are you involved in the American remake of REC, Quarantine?
No, we had no input into Quarantine. We actually found out about it on the internet. One day I was surfing the web and I read that they were going to remake it in America. I said to Jean, do you know anything about this? And he told me he did not. So we called Filmax, the company who produced REC, and they told us that they had sold the rights. We went on location to where they were shooting it. The cast and crew were very polite to us, and the producers took us out to dinner. But that was as far as the process went.
We would like to have been asked, but we were not bothered about being involved in a remake. To remake your own movie 1 year after you finish it is a bit too soon for us. Our names are only attached as from a script based on.
Speaking of Filmax, you have both made films for them in the past, and in John's case, the company has funded all of your feature releases. What is it about this company that makes you want to continue working with them?
I think it's something natural. I made my first film, The Nameless, and my second film, Fragile, with Filmax. I have a very good relationship with them, and as a director, I believe that I was growing with them, so it was natural to continue.
The same for me. I got support from them when I did my film Roman Center, The Werewolf Hunter, a few years ago. I think they are a great collaborator. They had given us a lot of support, and it was a two-way street. In fact, they tend to come to us now and say, what do you have coming up next? Would you like us to do it with us? Now, how can you argue with that?
Thank you very much, Paco and Joanne. It was very good speaking to you. Thank you.